the Bucks are looking to get back Leonard Fournette. He's listed as questionable with an ankle injury, but he's going to suit up and warm up. And if he's going to go, then they'll make a decision then. And lastly, the Jacksonville Jaguars' entire practice squad is now on the COVID list after one of their practice squad players tested for COVID-19. So, Jacksonville Jaguars going to Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, man. Yeah, it's been crazy, man. Sorry about that. I had some technical issues. I figured it out. We are now live on YouTube. For some reason, YouTube was not picking up. What's going on, man? I know what the issue was. We figured it out. But thanks, Scott. I don't know if Scott, I didn't get to say thanks to him. And thanks, man. Anything else we need to know going into the week?
That's pretty much it. Injuries are kind of slowing down now. We're not seeing as big of a plethora as we did in the first couple of weeks. But, for a physical game that football is, we're still going to see those go throughout the season. But one thing that I am kind of monitoring right now is these non-COVID illnesses. Obviously, when we get into the colder months, kind of like October, November, we're going to see a lot of these popping up. And just because a lot of the precautionaries that come along with the situation that we're in right now, we could see a lot of players being held out in later weeks of the season.
All right, thanks, Matt. We appreciate it. We got to move on here. Let's get to our show, man. Let's get to our battles, and there's a lot of battles to talk about here. Let's start off with the Bills. I know this game is a little bit later. I think it's a Monday night game, if I'm correct. Bills and Chiefs, 5 o'clock, but I want to cover it now. Why don't we just do Arizona and Dallas, and we'll do Chiefs and Bills right now. We got our AZ and Cowboys guy here. We got our Bills guy. So why don't we roll with the Bills and Chiefs? Our Chiefs guy couldn't make it today. So, Dan, what is going on, man?
Yo, man, what's going on? The Buffalo Bills have been licking their wounds since that putrid showing on Tuesday against the Tennessee Titans. And
Ryan Tannehill, woo! He must be hearing it all week.
I know. Honestly, I was not expecting that to happen whatsoever. And I did end up hearing, especially from FaZe, being like, yo, bro, so did you expect the Bills to go 16-0? I didn't, but it was just the way that we lost that game on Tuesday was just what pissed me off so bad. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. The Titans were clearly the better team on Tuesday night. But now we're going to be welcoming the reigning Super Bowl champions in the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's certainly a very scary matchup, especially since they are also coming off of a loss. So it's looking like both teams are desperate to go out there and prove themselves. As far as the Bills defense is concerned, it has taken an entire 180 from 2019. Last year, we were known that the Buffalo Bills would ride the back right on their defense to go to 10-6, and now it has seemed to switch, right? Honestly, our defense hasn't been able to stop a nosebleed, let alone a running back or any type of play action that goes into it. Like I said, I'm not going to make excuses, but one thing that is going to help me sleep at night a tad better is the fact that we are getting back Trey White and we're getting back Matt Milano. So right within that part of our defense. And while both of those are on the field, so our defense hasn't been stellar when they were on the field, but they are significantly better. This game is going to be the highest scoring game this week during week 6. You mark my words.
Wow.
I think that the Bills are going to be taking advantage of a lot of weaknesses that are on that Kansas City Chiefs defense. Of course, they have the Honey Badger, but I'm not impressed with their linebacker core whatsoever. I'm not impressed with the cornerbacks that are going to be lining up against Stephon Diggs and John Brown. So I have a feeling that Josh Allen is really going to pick on those weaknesses within the secondary. And I think the Chiefs are going to do the exact same thing. I think this is going to be a shootout. I would definitely not start either the Bills defense or the Chiefs defense during this game on your fantasy teams. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting matchup.
I just swapped out the Bills defense for Miami's defense because they're playing the Jets. So I was like, right on. So I had to get Miami's defense in there in one of my leagues. I'm going to stream defenses moving forward at this point. Very, very hard to trust. So in this game, I'm excited for it, man. It's going to be a good one. I think the Bills, obviously a redemption game more for them because I think, with the Chiefs, what you see is what you get. But are they going to be able to neutralize Le'Veon Bell? Because I'm not a Le'Veon Bell fan.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the deal. Here's the lucky thing. He's not even eligible to play, number one, because the second that he ended up going into Kansas City, I believe the COVID-19 protocols are that he needs to test negative for 5 straight days before he's even able to go ahead and step into the facility.
Right.
So it's just going to be a Clyde Edwards-Helaire show. So we're just going to be preparing for him. And then I believe I just heard that he's also suffering from a hamstring injury as well. So I'm not anticipating Bell to be playing. Say that he was. I mean, we've already contained him while he was with the Jets. Yeah. So I just don't think that. So I don't think that the Chiefs are going to run the ball a lot because of the weaknesses on the Bills secondary at this point. And so I think it's going to be an air raid attack from the Chiefs.
All right, Dan, thank you very much, man. There's your breakdown of the Bills, man. We appreciate you being here. Ryan couldn't be here today. So let's move on. Let's do the matchup. AZ versus the Cowboys. Let's get our ambassadors on. We got Ryan and we got the AZ sports fan. Where are you?
What's going on, guys? How are we doing? Yep, second Monday Night Football game. I honestly didn't know the Bills were playing on Monday until like yesterday. So I'm like, oh, wow. The Cardinals are going to have their first primetime game, but we're pretty much sharing it. So, I mean, nevertheless, I'm really excited about this matchup. It's probably going to be a offense type of matchup here. Hopefully, Kyler Murray has a very, very good game because everybody's watching.
You had an easy one last week. I think you had a gimme last week, though.
He did. Yeah, so that's why I didn't want to blow it too out of proportion, playing the Jets. But, I mean, it seems like the connection between DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray, it's getting there. It's getting there. So, as long as we have that, there's hope.
Ryan, what do you got to say about that, man? I mean, you guys are fucked. Let's be honest.
We're not good, and we're really not good defensively. Like AZ said, it's going to be an offensive battle back and forth. But really, the path to least resistance for us is just pounding the ball with Zeke, being able to control the clock and just keep our defense off the field. Arizona is pretty good against the pass, but they're pretty much below average against the run. I still don't feel great about this game, but I do see that we could do some things right and maybe have a chance to win, but I don't think I would bet on it.
Yeah, Dalton.
The big key to success here is having Zeke basically go off. I think it really comes down to which defense can make that 1 or 2 plays, the turnover, the fumble, any of that stuff. That's what's going to be the deciding factor here because it's going to be offensive heavy.
Yeah, is Dalton going to be the solution? Dalton, is he the solution though, Ryan?
Well, I mean, no, he's not Dak, but he's definitely one of the better, if not the best backup quarterback in the NFL. He's definitely up there. He's got a quick release. He's accurate. If you can give him a clean pocket, then I think he's a pretty decent quarterback. The offensive line hasn't been too hot. We're missing two, 3 guys. So that's kind of a problem. We haven't been able to protect Dak that great. And it's going to be a struggle moving forward. So, yeah, I don't feel great about it, Joe. So, I said last week regarding the Giants game that Devontae Freeman, don't be shocked if he went off for 60 or for 100 yards. He went off for 60 and a touchdown. Again, I see Kyler Murray kind of running all over us.
So more of a red is dead more than a red rifle here with Dalton.
I think he's a good quarterback, Joe. I really do. I don't think he's bad, and he does have a ton of weapons in Dallas. I don't think he's going to be the problem.
Right. All right, what's your final score on this one, you said?
Jeez.
Tough one.
I'm going to go with it. We're probably going to score 30-something. I'm going to say 38-42.
Wow. For you guys. You guys are going to win?
34-31 no. Cardinals win.
Wow.
I'm picking Cardinals, Joe.
Wow. Losing some faith here.
I'm calling it like I see it. I think this is a tough matchup for us. I really do.
All right. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. I thought I'd get you guys in first. I didn't want you to wait the whole time to get to the end. You guys are the Monday night. So thank you guys for being here. That's the Monday night game. And again, it's going to be still entertaining to watch. I think both matches, the Bills, Chiefs, and you guys. I'm excited. Thank you guys. AZ, thank you. Thank you. All right. We got to move on here. I know a lot of people are excited. Oh, man. Faizan, I don't know, man. Big Cat. Let's start off with Big Cat. Faizan, I know you're scared.
Start off with Big Cat because the chat is just calling for him. They said, where's Big Cat? Get everybody else the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Where's the Big Cat? I'm kind of afraid. Where are you? Oh,
no. Listen. It's story time, y'all. I got my hat on because we're going coon hunting. Or bear hunting, excuse me.
Let's do it.
I got a little story here, y'all. This little bear went to the market. This little bear ate the pork because it was too cold. And this little bear got hunted down by Big Cat. Let me tell you something about these fucking bears. They run a 4-2-5 on defense. And guess what? Leonard Fournette rushed for 106 yards. You know what? That's a little problem because we got one of the best running backs in the league at Mike Davis, and we're going to run it down their throat. The reason with the 4-2-5 defense, the reason why there's a problem is they substitute in an extra DB. When you take in a DB, you take out a linebacker, and that's not good when you got a smash mouth ass running back in Mike Davis. We're going to win 26-17. The game is a wrap. What you got about that, Farzan?
Big Cat, let me start off by saying that your story was a complete lie because last week you prayed on some birdies, but this week you're going up against a big badass Bears, all right? And if I ask anybody here who they would pick between the Bears and the Panthers, they'd pick a Bear.
Let me tell you something. We're going to turn you bitches into trophies on the back of my fucking wall today. You guys beat the shit out of old-ass Tom Brady, who can't remember, was it 4th down?
That's not our fault.
Or 2nd down?
That's not our fault.
God damn it. Let me tell you something. You guys are...
Let's hear it.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You guys abused Christian Wirth, a rookie offensive tackle. Khalil Mack got off on a rookie offensive tackle. You're facing Taylor Moton, one of the best right tackles in the fucking league, and you're happy about going up against a rookie offensive tackle?
It's still Khalil Mack. I don't care. And we're 4-1. We only play who we can play because that's our schedule.
You know what? I'm glad about it. 4-1, right? Teddy Bridgewater's 4-1 all time against you guys. And you know what? Joe Brady is the same offensive coordinator he used to be with the Saints, right? So guess what? Who did Teddy Bridgewater with? The Saints, right? So guess what? It's a wrap.
I'm not even scared of Teddy Bridgewater. He's got a noodle arm, Big Cat. Come on.
Fuck Nick Foles. Nick Foles is a knockoff.
Nick Foles is a Super Bowl champion, Big Cat. Don't forget that. Super Bowl MVP.
What is he now?
He's the starting quarterback for the Bears.
He's about this much better than motherfucking Mitsubishi. He much better than Mitsubishi. I'm not afraid of Allen Robinson. I'm not afraid of old ass. You got a bunch of washed up players on your offense. You got Mitchell. You got a Graham. You got old funky ass Foles. You got motherfucker. Y'all listen. Y'all had averaged 63 yards rushing over the last 2 weeks. You guys stink when it comes to run. Y'all can't do shit right. Y'all need to go back to the
Big Cat, you guys know what you stink at?
And fuck your head coach. Fuck Matt Nagy.
I can't disagree on that one, by the way. But you know what you suck at, Big Cat? Can't stop the damn run. It's Swiss cheese, holes everywhere. You know David Montgomery's going to go off, and we're going to exploit that because you can't stop anybody. And by the way, it wasn't Leonard Fournette. It was Ronald Jones who ran all over us for 100-plus yards. But I digress, okay? I got the Bears winning this match 24-17, Big Cat. One swing from the Bears' claws, and your whole skin as a Panther is going to get ripped off. Just
wow. Okay. All right.
The Bears.
You got some competition this week. There you have it. So final score here, Big Cat. Let's hear it.
26-17 Panthers.
24-17.
26-17.
Get it right. 24.
I'm right. You motherfucking wrong. Stop it.
Wow. How do we top this up? All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Thank you, guys. Wow, man. How do I top that off? I mean, I'm next. Where are you, JT? We got to top that up. Colts versus the Bengals here. Where are you, JT? Can you bring in some Big Cat energy, or just we're gonna come in as ourselves? That's it. Where are you, JT?
Oh man, I gotta turn the light on.
Oh, there we go. It's not the same. It's not Big Cat energy. There you go. We're good. So yeah, man, the Bengals. You guys 1-3-1 versus the Colts 3-2. Phillip Rivers not looking good right now. Obviously, we're at home. We're a 7.5-point favorite. Burrow. Does he prove? Like I think he does well this game. But the Colts defense is tough. That's the problem. What are your thoughts?
I think the Colts defense, we're going to see how legit they are in this game because, I feel like the Colts defense is kind of inflated because you went against so many poor offenses. Like, you went against the New York Jets and things like that. So you had time to inflate your stats, really. Not trying to, be rude, but that's just the truth. Anybody who plays the Jets is going to have good statistics. So, I mean, the key to the Bengals winning this game is being able to stop the run. So, I mean, you as a Colts fan, you really shouldn't have anything to worry about because the Cincinnati Bengals have the worst linebacking core in the NFL. And the Colts, I mean, as long as you don't need Phillip Rivers to win the game for you, you should be able to win, because anytime Phillip Rivers throws the ball more than 30 times, you're going to lose because he's going to turn the football over. So the Colts with Jonathan Taylor, you're a fantasy guy. I would most definitely start him this game, because I don't really think Cincinnati's going to be able to stop the run, but I do think that Cincinnati could put some points up on this Colts defense. And by the way, Joe Burrow struggled last week. I mean, he got absolutely raped the last week by Baltimore. He was getting sacked. He was fumbling. I mean, Baltimore just terrorized him last week. So, I mean,
it's going to be you cut off there. So, yeah, man, I mean, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think the Colts definitely take it defensively. Burrow, we're going to have to see if he can stand up against the Colts defense. Rivers has got to get it going. He just can't seem to find T.Y. Hilton and his targets the way that I thought. Wiley Cox, being a beneficiary of a lot of receptions. It's going to be an interesting matchup, but I mean, the Colts, I think, will prevail in this matchup. Final score, I don't know if it's going to be a high-scoring game. Again, Jonathan Taylor, they keep working Naheem Hines, the Wilkins. It's a disaster. It's a tough one here. I'm going to say the Colts win this one 24-17, kind of similar to what the other scores were the other game.
I think I'll go with 31-27 Colts. I think this game could be a little bit high scoring. I think with the Colts, like their secondary, I like their secondary. They got a lot of good names there, but I want to see some more consistency. I want to see what they can do against this offense. And also, it's some things going on with AJ Green. Reportedly, like it was something that went viral. Like it was like on the bench. I guess like people are assuming that he said that he wanted to get traded. So, I mean, I want to see if he's even able to play in this game, because it's crazy. He said, rumored that he wants to be traded, but he did sign the franchise tag, and, he can't stay healthy for anything. So, I mean, should be a pretty good game.
Is T. Higgins the solution there at wide receiver? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd have both played really good. We already knew Tyler Boyd was going to play good, especially in the slot. I think Tyler Boyd is pretty much either the second or third best slot receiver in the NFL. You got T. Higgins. T. Higgins has pretty much been Joe Burrow's number one target in this offense so far this season, either him or Tyler Boyd. Then don't forget about Drew Sample. So, I mean, I most definitely think that T. Higgins is the future. I actually started him on a couple of my fantasy teams, by the way.
Yeah, man. It's going to be interesting to see. So thank you very much, man. We appreciate you, JT. Let's move on to the Lions and Jacksonville Jaguars. Where are you, Dose? You're going to have to cover this matchup yourself. Our man Broshmo is not here. So what's going on, man?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Joe? I'm excited, dude. Am I unmuted? I'm muted.
No, we hear you. We got you.
Okay, cool. I'm excited, man. It's been 2 weeks without Lions football. We just pulled this fresh out of the oven today, man. It's hot. Okay. My man's on the hot seat. Yeah. We need a big game today. Okay. Hopefully we bounce back. This should be a game that we should win.
Yes.
This on paper is a game that you win.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, at this point, you just never know with the Lions. Some weeks they do, some weeks they don't. So this is big.
I mean, is this an emergence now of who is it? Swift? Is he coming out? Is his coming out party this week or what?
Yeah. That's actually good, because I predicted him to have the most touches in the backfield of any running back this weekend. Peterson was dealing with an illness. He should play, but I like Swift in this one. I think the Jacksonville is going to give up a lot of underneath routes. Swift the last couple of weeks been getting more involved. He's catching touchdown passes. I think Matthew Stafford's going to look to him a lot. Plus, Matthew Stafford's looking to make history, Joe. He could have a touchdown pass against every single NFL team if he throws one today against Jacksonville. Yeah.
So who catches it? It could be Hawkinson or Golladay.
Okay, if I have to pick between those two, I'll go Kenny G. I think goes up and get it, but it actually might be Swift. I think Swift might be the guy to start it off.
Wow. Yeah, this is a game on paper you guys have to win. Jacksonville not looking good. It's going to be interesting, man. But I think now, if you guys are fantasy, this is arguably the best matchup for Robinson, running back for Jacksonville. If you guys know what is going on, I mean, you guys rush defense. You guys are worse than the Panthers for our rush defense. Any improvements?
I don't know what we're doing, man. I don't know. Hey, Matt Patricia, you know what his plan was this week? Well, actually last week. His plan was to take things out of the defense, okay? Right. Because there's too much. He said they're not ready for everything that they're trying to do defensively. I don't know. At this point, I mean, I don't care what they do. They can't really get any worse. So whatever you want to do, if you want to put, any different position in line, I don't care what they do defensively. It can't get much worse. That's the big problem. We're the worst run defense in the league by far.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's my biggest concern. Robinson's been eating. I think he's like 4.6 yards a carry. We're giving up like 5.5 a carry. So I don't know, man. It's all about that run D. I think that's where it starts.
Do you have any problem with me wearing a Bears hat today? You seem pretty calm, and you haven't even noticed that. I mean a Packers hat.
Yeah, okay. The Pack, man, I just want to see this team lose. Like, I was glad they didn't play last week because I couldn't watch them win. I hate watching a team win, but like, I don't know, man. It is what it is. Maybe it'll work out where maybe they should beat the Buccaneers today. Maybe I have to root for that because wild card implications. I don't know. You
need to win. That's it. Let's focus on what you can control, and that's winning. And if you guys don't beat Jacksonville, you guys are a lost cause. So, all right, Dose, we appreciate Troy. Thanks for being here, aka Pat Mahomes. There you have it. All right, so let's move.
Appreciate it.
Let's move on. Falcons and Vikings. I guess I'll cover the Falcons today. Where is our Vikings man? Where are you, sir?
Hey, Joe. I'm right here.
William, what's going on with the Hey, Dalvin Cook. I told you he went down. I told you he's going to go down. Nobody touched him. That's like me going, oh, I'm hurt. It was weak. The guy's made of glass. Let's be honest. You can stick up for him, but I'm not sold on the guy.
Look, when he's healthy, and I know that's the if, but when he's healthy, there's not a better running back in the NFL right now than Dalvin Cook, and that's the truth.
Is he though?
He dominates the game. If he plays in that game, the Vikings beat the Seahawks.
Is he though? Because Madison's coming in doing the same thing. He's a product.
But Madison on the 4th and 1, when I needed the guy to be a number one running back, he didn't bounce it to the outside. If Dalvin Cook is on that 4th and 1, he bounces it to the right and it's a touchdown. That's just the truth. And the Vikings are sitting here at 2-3 instead of 1-4. And let me tell you something, everybody in the NFC North, the Packers, my good friends with the Packers, are hoping that Dalvin sits out 2 weeks from now. Because there's nothing more dangerous right now than a Viking team with Zim as coach who feels they have nothing to lose. Because the Seahawks, if I remember our friends from the Seahawks talking last week, this was going to be a killer. And at halftime, I couldn't find a Seahawk fan. Now, they came back and won. And Zim did the right call going for it on 4th and inches. But I tell you, everybody watching that game that night was like, oh, my God, this team is not the team we've been seeing from the Vikings. As a Viking fan, you're used to it. A lot of us are saying tank so we can get one of the top quarterbacks. I'm hoping our friends in the 49ers will trade for Cousins in the offseason. That would be the ideal Viking offseason. But, hey, today, Drew Samia's out. And if anybody watched Sunday night, it was a clinic on the worst offensive line play possible in the NFL. So Samia's out today. Ezra Cleveland is in, starting at left guard, moved Dakota Dozier to right guard. So we'll see. We'll see how that offensive line looks today. I think Cousins has a good day. I think Jefferson has a good day. If I'm Atlanta, I'm probably got orders from my owner to lose so I can get Trevor. Yeah. If I was Atlanta, I would want Trevor for multiple reasons. I would want Trevor. So we should see. I think the Vikings win. I don't think it's close. I think the Viking defense comes up. As much as that kind of pains me a little bit because I'm in the tank for Trevor camp, I just think, last week gave us some hope of what Zim can do as he has more time to work with this young defense. Yeah, I think Trevor is rooting for Atlanta to lose as well because I'd rather be in Atlanta with those weapons potentially than with New York. So, yeah, at this point, we got to talk about that with other people. Like, when is enough enough? At this point, you're 0-5. Do you really want to win at this point? Like, what's the point? Like, you're done. There's no chance. Yeah. Even if you make the 7th spot, you're going to be bounced in the first round of the playoffs. That's why I said, look, ideally the Vikings would lose today. That's just me talking my truth. Right. But I just don't see that happening. I think the defense has a good day today, honestly. If you can, if you're looking for a defense for one game fill-in, it might not be worth the risk with the Vikings today based on where Atlanta is mentally with the COVID, the firing of the coach. Zim had a great game plan last week. I just think the Vikings are going to put it up on them today. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, Atlanta, I don't know. It's a tough one, man. They could possibly forfeit. But again, it's legacy here. It's Matt Ryan. Does he want to go out like that? We're going to have to see. It's going to be interesting to watch to see if they're giving it their all or whether they're taking their foot off the pedal. I say just give it your all, no matter what, right? That's my mentality. Go for it no matter what. So thanks a lot, Will. We appreciate you, man. We got to move on here to the Washington football team. Are you here, Ed?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man? Yeah, our Giants guy's not here with us today. He had to catch, he was busy with something. So listen, man, it's up to you to break this down. And I'm understanding that is Kyle Allen going to be the guy? Because I think Smith came out, got smoked. So Allen's the guy going in this, right?
Yeah, Kyle Allen's the starter. I'm not the biggest believer in him, but last year when Cam Newton got hurt, he won his first 4 starts out of 5 games. So
right.
We'll see what Kyle Allen can do.
What is your thoughts on this game, man? I mean, you look at it, it's not a game I'll be watching for sure. I mean, you guys have 0-5, another team similar to the last matchup we just talked about, 1-4 versus 0-5. I mean, what are you guys doing? Are you going for the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes as well, or is this are we trying to win here today?
Well, this is big implications for the season. This is the battle of the NFC least. So I mean, if the Cowboys lose today, which is likely, and the Eagles lose to the Ravens, which is likely, and Washington beats the Giants or 0-5, Washington would be in first place of the NFC least with a 2-4, 2-5 record. So that's how bad the NFC least is. So I mean, if we lose this game to an 0-5 team, then you might as well just go for Trevor rather than trying to win a terrible division. I think in the long term, you rather just try to go for a quarterback rather than winning a terrible NFC least division.
I mean, isn't Kyle Allen worse than Haskins? Haskins is done now, right? There's no going back at this point.
It's tough. I mean, Alex Smith is number 2. He's the number 2 quarterback, and I don't really want to see Alex Smith play again because of the leg and everything. But Haskins is third string, so I really think he's going to be traded before the deadline.
Right.
That's my gut feeling is he's going to be traded.
Yeah, you guys need a lot of help.
He was sick the whole week. He had a stomach illness.
Yeah.
And it was a little weird because him and Jalen Ramsey have the same agent, and Jalen Ramsey kind of did the sick thing before Jalen Ramsey got traded. So, but I'm not going to say whether Haskins was sick or not. I'm not gonna say that he was faking it, but it's just a little fishy.
It is weird looking at the spread here, -2.5 here. Giants are the favorite, and I think it's just simply because of the home field advantage, right?
Yeah. I mean, I get the home field advantage thing, and they really could have beat Dallas last week, but there were some penalties. But you got Chase Young versus Andrew Thomas. Chase Young should win that matchup. You got Montez Sweat versus Cam Fleming. So our defensive line, really, Ryan Kerrigan, those guys should really get to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has fumbled the ball 17. He's had a turnover in 17 games out of 18 games that he's played in his career. So he's gonna turn the football over today. He always fumbles the ball. So we just gotta capitalize on his turnovers.
Was Riviera trying to kill Alex Smith? I didn't think you get hit with this type of question. But what is it, 6 sacks or something like that?
Rivera, I don't know what he was thinking. Alex was getting killed. Aaron Donald did a piggyback ride on Alex Smith. And I was just, it was scary for Alex Smith. I don't know why he was out there.
All right. Well, appreciate you as always. Final score on this, putting you on the spot here.
I think this one's going to be a little ugly. There's going to be a lot of turnovers, a couple of field goals here and there. I got 17-14. Washington wins at the last second with like a 45-yard field goal.
Wow. Anticlimactic. Sounds like a low-scoring sleeper, that's for sure. All right, we appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. All right, can I get Zach on here to talk about Baltimore and Philly, please? Zach, what's up, buddy?
I think Joe's here, too, for the Ravens. I'm going to see this being a very one-sided game there. But I'll let Joe fill you in there on how well his Ravens are going to do this week.
I don't think it's Joe here. I don't think Joe is here, man. So that's what.
I am here.
Oh, you are here, Joe. I didn't see you come in. There you go. I'm glad you're here. I thought you weren't here. Sorry, my bad. So yeah, man, let's cover this.
You skipped me last week. So.
I'm terrible, man. You're freezing on us. We lost Joe. Hey, Joe, you're frozen. Zach, you want to come back on and go Eagles? So he's a little frozen right now.
Yeah, for sure. So the Eagles really have nothing good going for them this week. Carson Wentz, more turnovers than touchdowns. Defense is not great. Miles Sanders is their only bright spot this season so far. I like Miles Sanders. He's a great player, but I don't think he single-handedly can beat the Ravens.
Right.
I see the Ravens winning probably by a couple scores.
Joe, you back?
Can you hear me?
We got you back, man. Welcome. Thank you. Hey, Joe Newbo, Ravens, a 9.5-point favorite. What's going on, man?
All right. Like I was saying, people are going to be saying fly Ravens fly instead of fly Eagles fly because we are going to dip our claws into those Eagles. No, but I'm looking at this game, man. Brandon Williams is out. Look for Miles Sanders to be running up the middle, man, honestly, because when Brandon Williams goes down, our nose tackle, our run defense suffers. Like, it just happens every single game. I don't think that this will be any different. But the Eagles only have their starting center, and the rest of their offensive line is pretty much, it's second and third stringers. So we had 7 sacks last week. Granted, it was against the Bengals. It was against Joe Burrow, but I'm hoping we can still do that. We're a very blitz-happy team. I'm looking for the defense to dominate. I'm hoping the offense, we haven't looked great. We haven't looked as we did last year. You know, we got to admit that, but I think it's been very experimental. We're trying out things in the passing game. That's what we've been doing out. So we're trying things out, but we just got to win games, man. And we're 4-1, looking to go to 5-1 and stake our claim in the AFC North, because we are the kings and we will be the kings of the North once again this year.
Who's your running back, though? Like, you guys are confused at running back.
We got a three-headed monster, my friend. We got Ingram, we got Dobbins, and we got Gus. It just depends if we're actually going to run the ball, if Harbaugh decides to run the ball, which is what works, but I don't know.
Three-headed circus. Nobody there is elite talent. You guys just need to pick one, stick with them. I'm not sold on your committee, and it sucks for fantasy, you guys.
Yeah, well.
What can you do? Hey, can I get a feedback from both of you guys? Is Wentz to blame for the catastrophic start to the Eagles? What do you guys think?
I'm going to go and say Wentz isn't solely to blame, but he hasn't played good.
No.
Like, he has no offensive line. He doesn't have great weapons, but he's to blame somewhat. He's making poor decisions, throwing interceptions, but it's not all on him.
So final score, Zach.
Agree.
Final score. Sorry, go ahead.
No receivers, bad offensive line, and then Wentz is just, throwing it to the defenders. So it's kind of like an amalgamation of different things that's going on there on that Eagles offense, and our defense is gonna feast into that.
All right, can I get a final score from you, Joe? I appreciate you being here, man.
So I don't know if we're gonna cover the spread. It might be a little bit closer than people think, just because I'm a little concerned about Brandon Williams and Derek Wolfe being out there. But I still think we put up about 33 to, we'll say 23, maybe.
Wow, giving them some credit, some points up there for the Eagles. Wow. What about you, Zach?
My score is going to be around 31-17. So.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Joe, thank you, man. We're going to keep Zach on for a second, and we're going to bring on Chiseled Adonis. Where are you, Chiseled? Steelers, where are you?
Oh, I'm here. I'm definitely here. When we talk Pittsburgh Steelers football, there's nobody better.
Hold on, let me do this.
League, undefeated still. And a lot of people think, oh, well, who you beat? It doesn't matter. We're still undefeated.
Claypool. That's all I got to say. He emerged. My guy.
Oh, absolutely. I told you. Well, although last week I was expecting it to be more Deontay Johnson, but my back. He ran into a boxer, turned into Mike Tyson out there, spinal. He couldn't finish the game, but Chase Claypool stepped up to the plate, and he had 4 touchdowns. He should have had 5. But we ain't talking about that right now.
This is a legit good matchup, honestly. Zach, man, this is a good matchup.
It's going to be a great game.
Yes.
The Steelers haven't played the toughest competition there. The Browns are definitely going to be the best team the Steelers are going to play. And they're by far the best offense the Steelers defense is going to go up against. The Steelers defense allowed 29 points last week against the Eagles, who are pretty bad, in my opinion. And I think that the Browns can actually squeak this game out. Baker's playing, Jarvis is playing, Odell's playing.
Wow.
And
what do you got to say about that?
Well, it all comes down to how good they play, because for Odell, Jarvis, and Baker Mayfield, they were all on the injury report. So nobody knew if they were going to play up until this point. Now, I'm not too concerned about Odell and Jarvis, because when Pittsburgh plays against big-time receivers, they step up to the plate. For some apparent reason, every single time it's Mike Tomlin's team, they either play up to the competition or they play down to the competition. And given this is going to be the best Steelers-Brown matchups since probably the 1990s, I expect them to go in there and take care of business. Now, as for Baker, as we both know, all of us know, he's coming into this game with some rib injuries. He's got some banged up ribs. It looks like God must have tried to make another Eve and took out a rib of Baker Mayfield this time instead of Adam, and he's going to go out there and get thrashed. Pittsburgh is tied number 1 in the league when it comes to getting sacks. All right, so I expect them to get after Baker Mayfield all day. And as we've seen throughout the entire season, the more that Baker throws the football, the better your chances are to win against the Browns. So if we nullify this run game, and Pittsburgh is very good against the run, although Cleveland's great running the football. If the run is, it's completely neglected by the Browns and they go try to win the game through Baker Mayfield, he's going to go and cook up some apple turnovers, and we're going to walk away with a W. My only concern is blocking Myles Garrett. If Pittsburgh can block Myles Garrett and Big Ben leaves the game untouched, this is going to be a W for Pittsburgh. But if Myles Garrett goes in there and disrupts the game, because outside of Aaron Donald, I don't think there's been a single person on the defensive line who's played better than Myles Garrett this year. But it's not going to be whack-a-mole Mason Rudolph under center. It's going to be Big Ben Roethlisberger, who owns the Cleveland Browns. I expect him to go out there and you'll see Pittsburgh win by 10. I'm thinking 34-24.
Wow. I definitely think it's going to be a little closer than that. The Browns aren't just going to abandon the run game. Kareem Hunt still, even with Nick Chubb out, they still have a good two-headed backfield. And I think Myles Garrett he'll definitely impact the game. I could see Ben has really been good. He's been good with the ball. He hasn't been making bad decisions, only one pick all year. I think he might throw another pick today. Denzel Ward might get in there. But I think that if the Browns are going to win, they're going to have to run the ball good. Myles Garrett's going to have to get in there. And I think I don't think the Browns no chance that they're going to blow out the Steelers, but I think the Browns could win by a field goal.
It all comes down to how the start of the game goes, because if the Browns fall behind, I don't think they've got a chance. But if it's a tight-knit game going down the stretch into the fourth quarter, then it can become anybody's game. It's just a battle of who wants it more. But because the Browns are so banged up, because they don't got Greedy Williams, you got Denzel Ward who's coming in, but he's also banged up too. All of these guys were on the injury report. So we need to see what sort of identity the Browns are going to be. I'm not going to downplay them. It's not like they're garbage this year. I truly believe they are legit this year, but Pittsburgh, they're a team on a mission. I think they're going to get it done.
Yeah, and I think ideally for Baker this week, he wouldn't have played. I think personally, if they weren't playing the Steelers or a division rival where this is a must-win game for the Browns, I honestly don't think he would have suited up. But since he's playing the Steelers, he's going to play, and he's obviously better even if he's hurt than the backup there.
Oh, absolutely.
And one thing to note, the Browns can go 5-game win streak for the first time since Bill Belichick was the head coach. I'd take how long the Browns have sucked, and this can be their opportunity to get back there.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a thoroughly entertaining game. I'm actually looking forward to this one. It's going to be the 1 o'clock game I'll be tuned into and focused on significantly, and then Claypool's coming out party. But what about a prediction, bold prediction? Ben gets hurt, and then Whack-A-Mole 2.0 comes out this year. What do you guys think? Garrett comes back at them?
Oh, only on Madden. But in reality, it's not going to happen. Ben's going to be taking care of business. He stopped masturbating. That arm is strong. He's not going to get hurt.
We're going to final score here for us, Chiseled.
34-24.
Wow.
I think it's going to be 31-28 for the Browns.
Wow, you guys sticking with your guys. All right. Yeah, it could go either way, but I think Steelers at home get the edge, and I think Vegas agrees with that with a 3-point favorite for the Steelers. And a Chase Claypool coming out party again. Part 2 coming out. So thanks, guys, for being here. I appreciate you as always. All right, we got to move on here to let's talk about the Texans and the Titans. Where are you guys? Texans.
Right here. I'm here. H-Town till I drown, baby.
Oh, my goodness. There's a little pep in the step there with the Titans guy. Mark, where are you, man? You look like you're ready. You had a great week last week. I was DMing you last week, too, saying Tannehill needs to put up points.
We're all about hospitality, so we'll let the Texans go first since they are actually the visitors, if you don't mind.
All right, let's hear it, Ruben. What do you got to say?
Here's what I got to say, man. You know, this whole situation with the Titans with the COVID is absolutely funny. It reminds me back with Blue Mountain State when Thad Castle took his pocket pussy and everybody using the whole team got syphilis. Basically the same thing what happened with the Tennessee Titans. Everybody got COVID. No, but in all honesty, this is a damn good Titans team. You know, they have King Henry, basically just like LeBron James back in the backfield. Ryan Tannehill's playing good. AJ Brown's doing good. But I don't give a damn about that because the Houston Texans have always shown against the Tennessee Titans in big games that they will win. Now, the Houston Texans just fired King Bill. The offense looked much better last week. I don't want to hear that that Jacksonville had no starters. You know, it's a terrible team. The Texans played different. David Johnson had his best game. Deshaun had his best game. Brandon Cooks had his best game. His offensive line had his best game, and we're going to keep it going against the Tennessee Titans.
It's Cooks back. He was a little banged up, wasn't he?
He had 161 yards and a touchdown last week. He is back.
He's back. I mean, he's back for good. Like, he's going to be solid. Like, he's going to be the guy.
He's going to be solid. He's going to be the guy, and David Johnson's about to turn it up.
All right, let's see. What do you got to say about that, Titans?
Well, I don't know about David Johnson turning it up. They only I think they're lowest in the league in actually running the ball, the Texans, for whatever reason, averaging, 20 carries per game? Maybe it's the teams they've played. I don't know. Titans have been doing it two ways, Joe.
Been doing in the red zone last week, 6 for 6. First time ever in our history. And I can't recall the last time a team went 6 for 6 in the red zone with touchdowns.
Right.
But Ryan Tannehill's got this team. Everybody wants to take Henry away. Fine, take him away. Tannehill will beat you over the top. And that's what we've been doing. And then the other stat, which nobody's talking about in your media, is turnover differential. Titans are +2, number 1 in the league. Texans, you can find them down the list, I think 26, 27. But honestly, if the Titans are vulnerable this week, if I'm the Texans, I run the ball. And I don't know why the Bills didn't do more of that last week. It's beyond me. I shouldn't say last week. It was Tuesday. It's been a whirlwind here with the Titans, man. I mean, you don't know if they're going to play, but it looks like this whole COVID thing has passed us, thankfully. We can concentrate on the Texans. But honestly, did you guys see the Titans putting up that many points against the Bills? I don't think anybody did. But Texans, this is a trap game, divisional game. And Ruben's right. The Texans do give us fits, and we give the Texans fits every so often, but not really lately. But remember last year, week 15, Titans were hot. Texans came in and beat us. That was where we turned the ball over right at the goal line. Texans, that was like a game changer. But Derrick Henry had a hamstring issue. He couldn't even run. I mean, they couldn't go outside. It was just up the middle, up the middle, up the middle. So until the Texans actually with their defense can stop Henry, Joe, I'm going Titans this week. Surprise.
Yeah, no doubt there. How about you, Ruben? Obviously, you're going.
What are you saying, baby? I'm called H-Town till I drown for a reason. Houston Texans is going to win a close one, 24-21. This is a good game. Like I said, I do respect the Tennessee Titans for what they're able to do. But, this team is unleashed now. This team no longer has a ball and chains behind it. Bill O'Brien was known for a man who would go into offensive game plans and change it on a Saturday night. This team now feels together. If you look at Twitter, J.J. Watt says finally happy. J.J. Watt posted a picture of Energy with the roof open.
Right.
This Texans team has now believed, and it's all systems go.
I actually think it's a trap game. I actually think everybody's thinking Tennessee's going to win this, but I think the Texans surprise and win this game. I think they're going to cover the 3.5 points for sure, but the win is very possible. I think it'll be one of those trap games. I really do. Sorry to say, Mark.
No, I mean, it's just like with the Texans and the Titans have always found a way to be each other's Achilles heel towards the end of the season. So it's going to be a fun game.
All right, final score here.
24-21 Texans.
Mark, are you still there? He's muted. Mark is muted.
I'm going to go 20. He's muted me. I'm going to go 27-20 Titans. But hey, Ruben, tough schedule. I respect that. They've had to go through the Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers. I mean, that's like murderous row. So I am interested to see how this game's going to unfold. It should be a good one.
Another one I'm looking forward to. And I am starting David Johnson still, guys. I will be starting David.
You should, because they finally started using him right. Bill O'Brien decided to run this dude up the gut so much. And we were like, what the hell are you doing against the Jaguars last year? He had 3 outside runs, went for 31 yards.
Right.
They are now going to use him the way he should. Deshaun Watson is now calling plays. So it's going to be a fun game.
It's going to be a fun game. I'm actually looking forward to this one. All right, thanks, guys. We appreciate you as always. Let's move on to the Jets and the Dolphins. Dougley, are you here?
Joe.
Oh, man. Yeah, this would be do we need to talk about this one? I mean, is Ian? Ian didn't even show up. I don't even blame him.
Man, but before we get to the Jets and the Dolphins, I got a bone to pick with you, Joe.
What'd I do?
Last week, you were laughing at my Miami Dolphins.
I was.
About the 49ers game. You were laughing at me.
I was. Can we bring the 49ers guy on? Bring the 49ers guy on for a sec. Who is this? Nick or Mike?
Hey, don't bring me in this, guy. Last week is old news, okay? What had happened was.
I just want to say, look, I understand it. Dolphins last season, horrible team. We were playing with a bunch of practice squad players. I get it. Lose to the Bills, lose to the Seahawks, lose to the Patriots. And I was telling you guys, we were that close to winning these games. We get our stuff together. We put things together. We'll be dominant. Everyone laughed at me. We dropped 43 on the 49ers. Now we got to face the Jets. We get a bye. Look at the rest of the schedule.
Wow.
Don't be sleeping on my Miami Dolphins. That's all I'm going to say.
2-3. You're going to be 3-3 after today. Jets are going to just forfeit and fold like a cheap lawn chair. So, yeah, this is a blowout. I actually got your defense started in fantasy for me. Great play this week. They're going to trample over these guys against Wacko Flacco. So, yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting game. Are we ever going to see Tua at all this year, or are we going to carry the momentum here with Fitz?
Yeah, I honestly think that it all depends on what happens with Fitz. You know, you might not. You honestly might not. It might come to the point where, or you might see him today. You never know.
Right.
You were talking about trap games with the Titans and the Texans. This also might be another trap game, and it does. I'm not going into this game as confident as I was going into the 49ers game. It's a division rival.
Yeah.
And if you've been a Dolphins fan for how long as I have, you kind of see them play down to their competition, but the Dolphins are going to win. It still just makes me a little nervous.
For sure, no doubt about it. Mike, do you have any comments about last week? Last words?
Yeah, I owe you an apology, man. I was super confident. I thought it was a get-right game for the Niners, and we got wrong.
Yeah, well, that's a stand-up guy right there for you, admitting when his team isn't stepping up. But yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate it, Doug. What else was it? I just got this report here with, what is it? Adrian Peterson has blood work, MRI, left side pain caused him to miss practice. There's concern that he has an appendix. This just came in right now. So, yeah, DeAndre Swift for fantasy guys. That's a little off topic. Breaking news breaks, and I had to mention it. Doug, we appreciate you as always, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Go Dolphins.
28-14, taking this one down.
Go Dolphins, man. We appreciate you. All right, let's go over to the Packers. And I'm wearing the Packers hat. Where is he, Basarowski?
Of course you got the Packers hat on. You got the best team in the NFC, arguably the NFL hat on. Come on.
There you go. Mind you, I'm not a fan of the green color. It's kind of a pukey yellow green in this particular.
That's fine. I tend to just rock the back. So the Packers averaging 38 a game. I mean, no one can argue that they have the best offense in football right now. You can't. Right. You can't argue that. And you have to agree with that also because Devontae Adams is coming back, and they didn't even have him since halfway through the second game. He was stumbled the whole game. He had a issue, and then he pulled his hamstring, that sort of thing. And Kenny Clark's coming back this week, so that's going to make their run defense a little better. I do need to give credit to the Buccaneers, though. Tom Brady's still playing like Tom Brady at God knows
when he knows what down it is.
Age 60, something like that.
Is it fourth down?
Yeah, I don't know. It's fifth down. It's like that longest yard scene when the ball crew pegs the ball of the ref in the nuts and he says it's fifth down. It's Tom Brady. But I think a big thing today is going to be Mike Evans if he goes, which I think he will.
Right.
I think Chris Godwin's going to go as well. And Jair Alexander is going to be locked up on Chris Godwin. And I think he can shut him down. He shut down Calvin Ridley after he had 100 yards in the first 3 games. And he had absolutely zero in that game. The problem is on the other side is Kevin King may not go. He practiced in a limited capacity on Friday, hamstring issue. You know how those work. Sometimes it just lingers around.
Right.
If Kevin King doesn't go, you have the likes of guys like Josh Jackson or Kadar Holman trying to cover Mike Evans. And I'll say it outright, not going to work. Just not going to work. So I'm worried in that. And then also stopping the run is a thing that the Packers have to do, which they will have issues with.
You don't want to sit in front of that. You can sit over here if you want. You just
49ers is trying to take my spotlight right like they did last year in the playoffs. You're good, Mike. You're good.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's going to come down to stopping the run and getting a run game going because the Bucs run defense is second best in the league. Very good to go. So I'll let Liam jump on now.
Liam, what are your thoughts on that?
We talked a little bit about it on our channel, but
yeah. What's up, guys? Game of the week. I'm so excited, man. God, the thing with the Bucs, it's the same thing every year. These self-inflicted wounds, the turnovers. Last Thursday, these penalties are just killer, and it's the same thing every year. You know, today I think it's like every week. The thing with the Bucs, to me, that's most important is you got to cut down on the penalties. And I'm really looking at the matchup with Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet going up against Zadarius Smith and protecting Tom Brady. If you can protect Brady, give him the time with the receiving talent we have, it's going to work. Rojo's coming off back-to-back 100-yard games. He's looking good. Fournette, it looks like he's going to go today. So that 1-2 punch is going to be back. And so, yeah, I mean, the thing I'm a little concerned about, I'm interested to see this rushing defense without Vita Vea. Because, I mean, he's one of the best nose tackles in the NFL. So it's going to be interesting to see with Aaron Jones. But I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm looking forward to this one. Now, is there any Alzheimer's problems going on here with Tom Brady?
No, he knew it was fourth down. There's no way he didn't.
He's playing stupid.
Said he knew it was fourth down. I don't know. I think he might have been embarrassed that that's the throw he made. It was an interesting choice. He had to have known it was fourth down.
He must have. I mean, the pace was, they're moving pretty fast near the end of the game. I am questioning whether he actually knew, but I mean, he's too much of a vet not to know, right?
That's what I mean. There's no way he didn't know. He knows.
Do you guys remember when?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when Kirk Cousins kneed the ball right before half when you're supposed to spike it, when the Redskins had to take a field goal and he kneed it?
Yeah,
and they ran out of time. That's what that reminds me of. But I'll piggyback onto this with the game. It's going to be 85 degrees today in Tampa. It's been said and it's been known that the Packers have trouble in Florida. They tend to just don't like those hot games. It's 44 in Green Bay today around there. So, you're almost looking at double there. And Aaron Rodgers hates Raymond James.
Right.
Field. He hates that field. So look for that in terms of like footing and all that.
All right, guys. Final score. Let's hear it.
You can go first, Liam.
I'm going to go 30-27 Bucks, taking the over.
Wow.
I got a field goal win as well. I think it would be like a Mason Crosby, like clutch Mason Silver Fox, like 55-yarder, 37-34.
Nice. Now, does Lazard still get some work today, or what happens?
He's out. He's a core muscle injury. He's been out with surgery.
Oh, right. He's still out. Right. He's still out.
Equanimeous St. Brown got activated yesterday. He could be in the mix a little bit. We got Devontae. We got MVS. Equanimeous St. Brown. Big Bob Tunyon. Best tight end in NFC North.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
Yeah, I know. He's really coming up. He's really coming up in the league. I hope he can continue that consistency. But yeah, I got the Packers winning it. Close game, high scoring game. Both teams are great football teams.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup for sure. Tanyan, I think, is going to get some work, and I'm starting him in DFS. Love him. So, all right, we'll talk soon, man. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, let's go to the Rams and 49ers. So why don't we start off with Mike, since he's kind of, in a tough situation. I put him in the hot seat here. With the 49ers last week. He's playing the Rams now, and they are the underdog at home in a divisional game.
Yeah, it's time, man. Last week I thought was a get-right game, and I do have a declaration for this one. Flat out, the Niners are going to show who they are. Whether they win or they lose, the offense has to step up. There's no more excuses, and I think that the defense is going to give us a chance to be in this game. So we're going to find out who the 49ers of this season are today, and that's going to be huge. This is going to tell you if they're a playoff team. This is going to tell you if they're a Super Bowl contender. This is going to tell you if they're sitting here and looking for draft picks already.
Sounds like you're trying to sell me here, but if you take a look over here at Trent, he doesn't look like he needs to sell anybody. He's looking like he's got the swag. And where are you, Trent?
I'm in my room right now.
It looks like you're in the stadium with shades on. It's sunny.
This is in my box at SoFi. Even though the Rams aren't playing here this week, I like to hang out here when we have our streaming. So, Mike mentioned, this is a chance for San Francisco to get right. And this is a rivalry game, a divisional game. So I don't take anything really lightly or for granted, no matter how terrible the Niners looked last week. But, last year when we played the Niners, they swept us, but they had Bosa, they had Buckner, they had Dee Ford, they had Richard Sherman, and now who they have? Jaquiski Pop-Tart? I don't know if that's really, instilling fear in the hearts of anybody. And, I think who does strike fear in the hearts of players is Aaron Donald. Now, the Niners offensive line has given up the fourth most sacks in football this year. And here comes Aaron Donald, who is coming off of a 4-sack game. But in his last 4 games against the Niners, he's accumulated 8.5 sacks. So, I think if you're just going by how he plays against the Niners' woes on the offensive line, I think 1 to 2 sacks today for AD is to be expected. And, I think that's the O-line for the Niners is really going to be where, and even for the Rams is going to be where this game is won and lost.
Does Cam Akers finally step up? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Sean McVay said after last week, because Cam Akers had an impressive 40-plus yard scamper, that he will work Cam Akers into the game more. His workload will increase this week. So I think you're going to see more of a Darrell Henderson, Cam Akers split with Malcolm Brown kind of being phased out a little bit more. So I think Cam Akers just looks like the more dynamic every down back.
I hope so.
And Hendo does a great job in the passing game. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Look, the truth of the matter is styles make fights, okay? And this game is going to actually play into the 49ers' hands as far as the Rams offense against the 49ers defense. The Rams have done a phenomenal job this year of getting Goff to get rid of the ball quickly and across the middle in the short passing routes, right? That is great for the 49ers defense, because what we're suffering from right now, like you mentioned, like Trent mentioned, is the loss of the outside corners. You got all these backups in there, and so people have been testing us downfield. If that doesn't happen today and the Rams continue to play what's made them so successful this season, it's going to play into the hands of the Niners and that linebacking core that we have that is one of the best in the league. So unless they change up something, and if they, they have to do that in order to be successful against the Niners defense. And I'm not sure they're willing to do that because they have a good rhythm going here. They have a nice lead in the division. They're right there. They can afford to play a little softer this game. And like I said, it's all about the style here today.
Yeah, and that's the style is interesting because you got Shanahan and McVay, and it's just like Michael Jackson said, it's the man in the mirror. When Sean McVay looks in the mirror, Kyle Shanahan's looking back. So they both do outside zone run, play action, yard after catch, motion. They're both like in the top 6 in all of those categories. So this is going to be like a chess match within a chess match within a chess match. And that's why, even though you look at the Niners and they're banged up, coming off a tough game, Niner fans are talking about Trevor Lawrence and, who's quarterback for the Niners next year. But like, it's still, these games are always going to be tighter than what we would assume. And so I think it's going to be, kind of who asserts their style, but like the offensive line and defensive line for both teams is really the where the crux of it all is. And Jared Goff is 3-3 with 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 98 passer rating against the 49ers in his career. So, yeah.
Now, do you trust Mike? Do you trust Jimmy Garoppolo? Is he fully healed up or good to go?
I do. I think they shouldn't have pulled him last week. I think he had a bad game, and Shanahan didn't let him play through that funk. There's no excuses. It's not going to be injury related. He's either got it or he doesn't.
Right.
Now the question is, does he have it? Since the postseason of last year, that's been an issue, and the team kind of took away those throwing responsibilities. We have yet to really see him get it back. The best half he had was against the Jets, and that was after he got injured. I think Jimmy has to show who he is, and I'm going to say, yes, I believe in him today.
Wow, good. Nice. Final score?
I'm going to call it a close one. Let's say 28-24. I'm going to say the Niners edge it out.
They could. They're more desperate. What about you, Trent?
I'm going to go 31-17 Rams. The Rams have scored at least 30 points in every game on the road this season, even including against the Bills, who have a really good defense.
Right.
So I think the Rams score at least 30 and at least give up two. One last thing. The Rams in the last 10 quarters have given up only 3 touchdowns, 33 points. They've had 17 sacks and allowed 3.9 yards per play. So 31-17 Rams.
All right. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. It is our game tonight, so I will be watching it. There will be no other football on. I will be looking at Cam Akers, hopefully, for an emergence there. And, I think the 49ers pull this one out. They really need to win. They really need to win here. So, an upset. I think it's an upset. You don't think so? All right. He's shaking his head, Trent. You never know. I like to go for the team with their back against the wall. So, especially divisional, if it's going to be close, the desperate team could prevail, but who knows? So we'll discuss this next week and we'll see the results. So, all right, guys, thanks for being here. We appreciate that. I just want to talk quickly about the Denver and the Patriots game. So can I get Jeff to come on here with me just to have a kind of an open discussion about this because our ambassadors are not here for the teams today. Jeff, putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, you are, man.
Putting you right on the spot.
Lord.
Listen, I just want to have an open discussion here with you. Let's talk about Melvin Gordon here. You are the starter for the Denver Broncos. You're supposed to be an elite athlete. You're out drinking. You're out driving, which you shouldn't be either. Some people can drink. You can make a debate that it's okay to casually drink. You're drinking and then you're driving, which is a no-no, right? And then you're speeding to boot. So you're doing the wrong, and then you're speeding, and then you get strep throat, and then you miss the game. What is wrong with these people? Is it just like you could call a limo? Why is it that athletes, I just want your opinion on this. Why is it that athletes kind of find a way to get themselves in trouble when they could just simply pick up the phone, call an Uber, call a limo, call a chauffeur. Melvin Gordon, I mean, this is just not responsible. I wanted your thoughts on it.
Yeah, honestly, it was really surprising from Melvin Gordon. Not a guy that you really hear a whole lot of issues with, other than his contract situation with the Chargers last season. I wasn't expecting this from him. Some guys, they get a complex, that they're, especially after the game he had last week, kind of cemented him as the number one running back for the Broncos. Maybe that had something to do with it. I'm not totally sure. I don't know why these guys do this, especially when you've got Uber and everything else right now. I mean, it makes no sense to jeopardize your whole entire career.
Right.
For 15 minutes or however long it takes you to get home instead of deciding to just the way they take care of their bodies and everything else, you would think they would take care of their actions, in their careers. So I really don't know. It was surprising. It's really surprising when you still got a guy behind you that is
hungry,
albeit injured or was
hungry,
that can come back and easily slide into that starting spot, which is what Philip Lindsay might do. I did hear that the Broncos really appreciated the way he took care of it, where he actually called them first and let them know what happened so that they didn't get blindsided by it, hear it on the news or anything.
Right.
But, it's still with everything that is going on this year. You would think as a player, you would want to be careful. One, not to get COVID. Two, not to go ahead and do something that's going to land you on ESPN in a negative way. Like I said, it's just really, really surprising, man.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think maybe he drives a nice car and he's just like, I'm not going to leave my car here. Whatever the reason may be, it's just inexcusable, because I wasn't even thinking about his health for a second. I was just thinking, like, naturally you think when someone drinks and drives, you're thinking of endangering innocent victims. But yeah, man, this could be a career-ending thing if you get into an accident and ruin your career. So hopefully he makes more responsible decisions. But again, we don't know what's going on in his head or some of these players' heads. They have their own stresses to deal with. They have their own pressures to deal with. So you never know. So you can't fully blame him, but hopefully he makes smart decisions. You got to be responsible here. In regards to this matchup, 1-3 Broncos, 2-2 Patriots. I think Cam Newton is back, to my understanding. I mean, Patriots at home. I mean, you got to give this game to them. I know Drew Lock is back, but I mean, I don't know. I think the Patriots 7-point favorite makes sense, right?
It does make sense. Honestly, if fantasy purposes, I'm looking for a kicker, and Nick Folk is out there for the Patriots. I hate to be talking kickers anytime he comes up with fantasy.
Right.
But the way that the Broncos defense has looked, if you go ahead and allow the Jets to actually put up some points against you, hell, the Patriots should be, at least in the red zone for most of the game.
Right.
So that's the thing. The defense for the Broncos is surprisingly bad. Understanding they've had some issues with injuries and everything, but I expected them to hold up their end of the bargain, especially with a defensive-minded head coach,
right?
A little bit more this year. But I think Belichick is probably making this into a get-right game for them. The last time they took the field against the Chiefs, they looked really bad without Cam. So I think Cam is excited to get back. I think the Patriots should look like the Patriots again in this game.
Yeah, they should have their way with the Broncos for sure. Well, thanks.
I love Drew Lock, and I hate saying that. I think the kid is going to be, good. I think him and Jerry Jeudy are going to be a great combination, but you just got too many guys out.
Right.
As far as on the receiving end, Tim Patrick seems to be an okay receiver. He might surprise today, but Noah Fant is still hurt. There's just too many issues on that offense right now.
Too many issues. Yeah, 1-3 Broncos on the road, banged up. I mean, I imagine some people trying to step up, Judy, Philip Lindsay, guys like that. But again, I think too banged up for a Patriots defense that's been pretty awesome. and Cam Newton's going to be putting up the points on the other end. So again, not a game I'll personally be watching, but there's too many games going on at 1:00 for me to be focused on that. So thanks, Jeff, I put you on the spot there. We appreciate you. And guys, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you guys follow Fan to Fan Network. Guys, head on over there, fantofannetwork.com. We appreciate you guys. And as per usual, guys, make sure you tune into us every Sunday morning at 11 a.m.